What's going on, Blue Crew? It's your boy Big Blue here again with another video for you. Today I'm going to bring you a boss kill build. Yes, it does have some mobbing capabilities, but for the most part this is just for shredding and destroying bosses. I also have an item in here that I know Moxie was looking for in his Ricochet Witch build. He was talking about it. Hopefully he can get it. He come and grab a save file from my Discord, give me a shout out, but I have something for him. I do only have clips of Grave Ward and Tron on here. Grave Ward mostly because he has one of the most health out of all the bosses in the game. But without any further ado, let's roll that intro. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch this to the mobbing ability I was talking about. Only thing you have to do is equip Ties That Bind. And instead of the Unseen Threat, I'm going to equip the Skull Smasher. Both of these guns are from the DLC, Love Guns and Tentacles. They're both really hard to get, to be honest with you. You pretty much got to farm chest until you get one with the anointed roll you want after you actually get one, which is hard enough by itself. Hard enough by itself. But I want to give a big shout out to my Discord, man. They helped me get a lot of these items because we were all farming for stuff, and they decided to share them with me. And I decided to make a build for everybody. We'll have the save file in my Discord if you are looking to get this Unseen Threat or this Skull Smasher. The Unseen Threat has a 250% phase cast on it, and the Skull Smasher has 100% extra damage after action skill ends. So they're both pretty decent rolls on the guns. This is the mobbing capability I was telling you about. Yes, it is mostly for bosses, but in the right hand, somebody with better aim than me, you can do a lot of damage just mobbing through people. I'm pretty sure if I was to actually sit down and give it a try with just the Skull Smasher, I could probably make a boss kill build with that. Maybe using an amp shield, increasing my elemental damage, I could probably do something that way. But the Unseen Threat is just crazy when it comes to damage, so I didn't see the point in doing it. I just thought I'd use both of them together in this one build. I do have a lot of movement speed in this build also. They have 6 points in the mindfulness just to make sure that I'm able to move as fast as I need to. One of the major things that I did different that I haven't done in many of my builds, I guess I wasn't able to because the shield just came out, but the Old God. I think that is one of the best shields in the game after seeing it. And then I have one that has shock damage and a shock anointment on it, so that's 70% shock there. Plus my 40% I get from my extra elemental damage in Amara's skill tree. So I get like about 90% extra shock damage alone just from my items. Well, from my items and from that one skill. It increases the damage so much in this build, and I think that's one of the reasons I was able to make this work so well. As you can see, I did go down, but I had no problem getting back up and just killing everybody. The reason I use Ties That Bind and I use Stillness of Mind because I can grab everybody, and the damage is multiplied to the guys who are grabbed. If I'm not shooting them, it's multiplied. I believe Z Karma put a video out on that. If you want to go check that out so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. He's really good when it comes to like the analytics of the game and like explaining things. But yeah, that shield I was talking about, in Moxie's Ricochet Witch build, he was saying that he needed one with shock damage, and I have one with shock damage and a shock anointment. It's like the perfect role for what he's looking for. Somebody get this to Moxie so he can know that I have one. Somebody show him this video. You have pretty good sustainability too. I think I have 6 points into Helping Hands, 6 points into Helping Hands. Give me some damage reduction on top of the old God giving me that 25% elemental damage resistance. And I have some clarity in there. I have a couple things to just really increase my survivability. Even though this is for bosses, I wanted to make sure that you could survive if you're fighting a boss who has multiple phases or something like that. So one of the things I like about the Skull Smasher is the fire rate. It's like a pistol, but in a sniper rifle form. Okay, so here I'm just gonna change back into the actual boss killing build. I gotta go back to face cast. Do I want this or do I want So I'm gonna go with this one. And then we're gonna show you a couple boss kills here. Me killing Tron, me killing Grave Ward. And as you can see, the damage is there for sure. I just want to show you that I'm being transparent. I do have movement speed on there, but it's also 25% less critical damage with none of my actual Guardian rank on when I do this. If this doesn't showcase the damage, I don't know how else I could do it. But as you've seen, still downed him with no problem. Tron's actually a little bit harder to hit because you got to hit his backpack, but if you hit that crit spot, the unseen threat actually spawns 3 homing projectiles that do way more damage than the actual bullet shots. Sometimes they're a little tricky also, like sometimes they don't track right, especially on Grave Ward. Most of the time you shoot them and that happens, but sometimes you'll shoot them and like they'll just float off. Okay guys, let's go over the build. So my boss killing weapon, like I said, Dastardly Unseen Threat. It's got that phase cast anointment, which just makes it even more of a monster than it already was from the start. The 2 main weapons that I am using in this build though are going to be this Dastardly Unseen Threat and this Dastardly Skull Smasher. This one, just like I said earlier, has that weapon damage. It's usable for a lot of different things. If you get the save file and you want to switch the build around a little bit, please feel free to. I have it as optimized as much as I could for boss killing, but with 100% ASE, you may be able to do something else with it. I have a lob here that also has weapon damage 100% on in, and I have a Cutsman with the same thing. They're just there in case you need some shock or some corrosive damage. That's the 2 main reasons that I have those there. Here is that old god I was talking about. 20% extra shock damage, 25% elemental damage resistance, and it has that action skill with plus 50% bonus shock damage. This thing is a key part of this build. It increases my damage way more than anything else. Only reason I'm using this Red Queen there was for that incendiary damage. This spiritual driver is only level 50, but look at the things that comes with it. 25% weapon damage, 45% extra Jacob's critical, and up another 30-something% sniper rifle damage. Elemental projector, it gives me more ignite chance and it gives me that shock damage. And it's 103% extra damage, so that's also really nice. Going into the actual skill tree, the Mythical Assault, I have 1 point into Fast Hands just for that extra reload speed. Violent Tapestry for that status effect chance. I have Restless for that cooldown rate. I'm using Transcend because I'm either going to be using Stillness of Mind or I'm going to be using the health regen one. What is it? Soul Sap. These are the 2 abilities that I will be using. And Ascendant works with those abilities also. I was only able to get 1 point into Wrath for a little extra damage, but you don't really need it, honestly. I wish I could have got more out of Wrath and Laid Bare, but I couldn't really make it happen. In Fist of the Elements, Anima, I have 5 points into Anima. So the weird thing about this, I tried to do it without Anima, and my damage was nowhere near the same, so I had to put those 5 points into Anima. Trust me, I don't understand either. If you do, please leave it in the comments for me. On this Steady Hands, I got this for the handling and the accuracy. Infusion, just because I'm using kinetic guns and I need more damage. But I only have 3 points because I tried to keep some of my damage without it all getting muffled by infusion and still be able to infuse my weapons with the damage types. Tempest for that extra damage. Gives me an extra 40% shock damage. I know it looks like 50 up there, but it only is 40. Plus that Old God Shield, which gives me another, 70%, plus that 40. 110% actually, excuse me, total extra shock damage just from this build. It's crazy. I have 1 point in the Dread in case I do have enemies grasp. That's more for the mobbing capabilities, doesn't really affect bosses as much. Like I said, with the Skull Smasher, because it has 100% ASE. Going into Indiscriminate, I have it for their ricochet chance. When I'm using the Skull Smasher and it ricochets, it pretty much wipes everything out. Sustainment for that lifesteal, just to help me stay alive a little better. And Forceful Expression. This is actually a pretty important part of this build. That bonus elemental damage of 18%, I'm pretty sure it's more than that. In the Brawl tree, I have 1 point in the Root to Rise for a little health. Always have personal space. Clarity for some regen. 6 points into helping hands just for I can get some damage reduction. And in mindfulness, I have 6 points, 3 from my class mod. Guys, that is the build. I do hope you enjoyed it. I will have the save file in my Discord. I did have my Guardian rank off when I did this also, so anybody will be able to do this build and just destroy bosses. I know Moxie was looking for this shield. Somebody tell him to come watch the video. Leave a comment. Like always, Blue Crew, like, share, and subscribe. Stay medicated, stay elevated. To the next one.